Why even hire a custom home builder? You're probably pretty handy and you may be able to do a few projects yourself. In this video, I'm going to tell you the exact role that an amazing home builder must play, and at the end, I'll share the #1 most important thing that your home builder must have. And if he doesn't, maybe it's time to find a new one. I'm Dan Nodge, and my goal is to make home building more transparent by showing you an honest and real behind the scenes look into building some incredibly large custom homes so you can be more confident and not feel like you're gonna get screwed. Being a guide for the client. The biggest role of a builder is in guiding the client through the entire home building experience. This includes helping choose an architect, interior designer, suppliers, engineers, and much more. A great builder will help the client speak to them and always have their best interest in mind. And that includes understanding what's really important to the client. Have you ever made a decision and then found out that there were other choices you didn't know about? How would you have known? It's the builder's job to make the client aware of the options that are out there while keeping out a lot of the noise and stress with all the choices. So a good builder will help the client stay focused on what matters and help them articulate what they really want. Once we've made it through the planning stage, we get into construction, where the builder's role clearly is to build the house, which I break down in another video, but to also create the client experience throughout the build and beyond. Clients don't know what they don't know, so it's a builder's job to educate them. I like to think of it akin to a high-end dining experience. The server or chef always explains what you're about to eat, so you are never left wondering what's coming. Communication. Communication will make or break a client's experience. End of story. It's a fine line to know what you should be telling the client, when to tell them, and when not to stress them out with stuff that they don't need to worry about. What a great builder will do is set expectations up front with the client for how to communicate with each other, with trades, and what's allowed and not allowed. Also, we want to dig deep into what's important to the client. Everyone's different. We've had clients that want to be on the site every day, and we've had clients that only want weekly updates on their online client portal. We use an online client portal that allows us to update the client daily with videos, pictures, and comments about what's happened that day and where we are with the budgets, schedules, change orders, and material selections. Quarterbacking the sub-trades.
I think I made him himself.
Residential construction is different than commercial. Smaller companies, more in-person communication. The clients may be on site and want to get to know who's working on their home. It's an incredible skill to not only find the good trades, but being able to communicate with them on an ongoing basis, have them booked and keep them booked, but also have their back if something needs to be done that will hold up the project. The home builder must be the grease that keeps the wheel turning. We solve problems, communicate, resolve on-site conflicts. Quality control. It's one thing to hire a trade or a company to do a job. It's another to ensure that they do it right. If a homeowner decided to build their own home without prior knowledge or experience, how would they know that the job was done right? How would they know if corners were cut? Yes, anything can be fixed. The hard part is being efficient and catching issues before or as they happen. Estimating. Over the years, it's gotten easier to rely on old data and projects to estimate materials, labor, and projects as a whole. However, with COVID backing up the supply chain and inflation's running rampant, costs have gone all over the place. Not only has material gone nuts, but since the great COVID resignation, we've seen many trades looking for laborers, both skilled and unskilled, to the point where really good businesses have had to close their doors. The ones that have stayed in business have seen their overhead going up in salaries and expenses, having to charge more. Less trades in higher demand also creates more supply and demand, and therefore prices naturally increase. Being able to organize a project so that the individual materials and labor are both properly estimated and monitored is something a great builder will pride themselves on and stay on top of. Takeoffs. It's up to the builder to understand what materials are needed as well as the quantities. If you plan to build a big house, not only will you have to plan the materials coming to site, but you'll have to know how much, where it's going, how it's getting there. And this is all from understanding your takeoff quantities. Contract management. There are many different types of contracts that work for different types of client. The most well-known are the fixed price contract and the cost plus. In a fixed price contract, the client is paying the builder a price for a predetermined designed home build. This will have the contractor's overhead and expenses built in, as well as a risk multiplier in case anything goes wrong. In a cost plus contract, the homeowner is covering materials and labors, as well as paying the contractor a set percentage fee on top of everything. It's really important to know that there are pros and cons to all contract types, and the client needs to choose which one is right for them. Some people prefer certainty in pricing, while others value transparency and quality and want to see where every cent is being spent. In a fixed contract build, the contractor monitors the spending because they only have a certain amount to spend on each thing, and they make what's left over. In a cost plus contract, the builder must track every expense to be able to charge a percentage off of it and to report to the client throughout the build with the cost to completion and total costs throughout. Budget management. One would think the building is pretty straightforward. This is what we need done, and this is what it costs. However, nothing is ever perfect. The role of the builder is not only just to build a house, but also to monitor the budget throughout the build. Maybe a trade shows up to do their work, but their material hasn't arrived on site. What if they try to charge you for the initial trip? Does a homeowner know to fight that if they're not there all the time? If the homeowner changes their mind and a change order is in place, it's the builder's responsibility to ensure the homeowner understands the financial implications. It's a builder's responsibility to manage the budget while making sure that the work is done efficiently and correctly. This moves us into the number one most important thing that your builder must do, or I recommend finding someone else. Client advocacy. One of the most important aspects of our job as a custom home builder is to not only guide the client through the process and communicate with them throughout, but to advocate on their behalf. People don't know what they don't know. Our clients aren't expected to be well-versed in home building. They are trusting us to help them through the process and to act on their behalf. It's our responsibility to advise the client of options and to help them make informed decisions based on what they have deemed priorities to them. It's also about fighting for them. They're not on site. There's things that they may never know about, but we have a duty to act in the best interest of our clients. Another aspect of client advocacy is ensuring we are minding the budget as well as keeping track as changes occur. Residential construction is known for going over budget because it's highly emotional. That means that the client may make changes that are not based on cost and therefore may change the budget parameters. It's our job to not only track the budget in real time, but to also inform them on where it's at and how different decisions will affect the overall picture. As a client, getting to the end of a project with one expectation and then getting hit with the realities will definitely leave a sour taste in your mouth. And that's what I expect out of all great builders in our industry. If you found this useful, make sure to check out my other videos as well as subscribe and click on notifications for my channel so you get the newest videos as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching.